All right, it's another dark and gloomy day here in Spokane, Washington. For about 3 or 4 days now, it has just been dark. We've had no sunshine. Y'all, I moved away from Seattle because I couldn't stand the dark all the time. So where is the sun? In addition to that, I have been sick on the sofa, unable to come up to my craft room and do anything productive for the last at least 3 days. So I am just rearing to go. I have so much I have to get done, and I thought I would just bring you along with me. So one of the things that actually happened this weekend that I'm excited to share with all of you is I was recognized by Trending Northwest magazine as one of the top content creators here in the Northwest, in the Pacific Northwest specifically, for YouTube. And that, friends, is all thanks to all of you. You keep me inspired every time you comment below, you share, you like, you message me that something worked for you. You really inspire me and keep me going. And so this recognition that I got was so special. And here is the cover. I'm right down here at the very, very bottom, but that was our cover. The full article is at trendingnorthwest.com, but they did such a lovely spread for all of these amazing creators. I mean, there are some wonderful folks that I am in the company of being recognized. And then there's a little article written about me right here. Very exciting. So, I mentioned that I've been sick the last few days. Really haven't been able to do much, but yesterday I thought, hey, I'm going to try. I'm going to get up. I'm going to, come upstairs. I'm going to try to print out the cover because I thought it would be really, nice to see every day this recognition. So I battled with the printer probably for over an hour. It just was super frustrating. And then I ended up getting a horribly cropped picture, but at least it's something. It's in a thrifted frame using tape to hold it together. But this will work until I can figure out what is going on with the printer. Honestly, I think it just needs ink. You know how testy it gets when you're running low on one of the little cartridges. But anyway, so I got that done, but I really haven't been able to do anything else over the last few days. So today I have a few things I have to get done. In the next few weeks, I'm teaching a reverse applique class, another sewing class with Spokane Zero Waste. It's a new topic. So luckily I have the outline in my head. I know what the class is going to look like. I'm actually teaching it two different times in the same week to two different groups. But one of the things that I need to do for this class is I need to do a short because I have to do a promo. So with Spokane Zero Waste, I'm starting to do more social media work for them, especially because it's a great way to show how to do certain techniques to get the community inspired and also to really clarify what someone's going to be learning in the class. So I have to do that short today. And I figured since I already have to record some things and do a short, I might as well just vlog along as well. So when I say reverse applique, it's a very, very simple technique. You can do this on so many different types of fabrics. You can use it for bags or tops or pants, jeans, pretty much anything you can imagine. And essentially all reverse applique is putting fabric on the inside of another fabric, stitching it together somehow, and then cutting out that fabric, the original fabric, to let the other fabric shine through from the inside. That sounds complicated, but it really isn't. So I made this shirt, again, thrifted sweatshirt, which I love. It has this nice little cropped and cozy feel to it. So I made this one just by making a heart and just stitching around with the machine. Most recently, I made this one using another thrifted sweatshirt. And this time I just freehanded some letters and used this plaid that I really, really am in love with. The one thing about this one is I realized it's really hard to read because it's so wide. So there are some, there's a learning process. There's no right or wrong way, but you do start to figure out what is gonna work best for you. So today I have a couple of items. Number one, I have these sweatpants. Okay, they're just nothing fancy. I don't even know. They're just, again, another pair of, they're Hanes, just a Hanes sweatpant. And these sweatpants have stains all over them. They are clean. I did wash them, but they have stains all over them. And I thought these would be a great sample to show, you know, maybe adding a design on the knees. So I kind of have to come up with a design and some fabric for this. And then we have this, another little easy to use item. It is Hanes as well. And it has this holiday motif on there. So now I just have to figure out the design and also the fabric, and then record the process as I go. That way I can get a short and also share with all of you what I'm doing. If you have done reverse applique before, let us know in the comments. I spent so much time just being sick on the sofa looking for inspirational ideas. And there's a lot of them out there. From, like I mentioned, just the basic shapes. You could take cookie cutters and trace them. You can... I have a ton of paint stencils that I got when I was really into painting for like a hot minute. But you could use, you know, you could just take a little paint stencil, trace it on your item, and then stitch around the lines with fabric behind it, cut it out, and now you have, you know, something like this to make it easy. Or you could do freehand, which, you know, I really enjoy doing freehand, but there's just so many options that are out there. You can also do reverse applique by hand stitching, and that looks so good. I really enjoy that, but the focus of this particular project really is for our machine sewing class. It's a class for beginners so they can, you know, learn the joys of upcycling and get some inspiration so they can go home and save a garment of their own, or pick up something that may end up in the landfill, like those sweatpants, because they have stains. So instead of having to live with those, this is just a great way to make those pieces last a lot longer. All right, first things first, we are going to start with the sweatpants. And the sweatpants, you know, they have this staining that I pointed out, and it kind of goes all the way down the leg. So, you know, we have options. I can cut out shapes. Originally, I thought that I was going to put like shapes all around it, but I think I might do that on the sweatshirt just because that print in the front is so big. I'm going to have to cut that whole thing out. So it's going to have to be a pretty solid piece. So what I think I'm going to do, in fact, what I've decided to do is I'm going to do the word community, and on this right side that doesn't have a lot of staining, I'm going to do COMM, and then on the left side I'm going to do unity, UNITY. And the next thing I need to decide is, you know, the fabrics that I'm going to use that I want to show through. So, you know, I could do the same color fabric all the way through, but I do want something that is going to pop. This is a really great neutral. It's, you know, white and gray. So it's a really great base. And now let me just look through my fabrics and see if I can find some coordinating fabric. Also, you can see now, so the way that I do my shorts, I actually got this video camera, the DJI Pocket, I think it's what it's called, Pocket 3, something like that. I got this as my last gift to myself right before I quit my job to do this, you know, full time. And I love it. It's great. But I can't film a short at the same time that I'm vlogging. And I still use my phone for a lot of the content that I capture, especially if I'm doing shorts. So I have my little setup here, and I showed this in my last like video tour, but this is where I'm going to put my, I'll just kind of back up just a little bit. So this is what this process looks like. You can kind of get this behind the scenes, but I have to take off my little magnetic ring on the back of it. And then I have a step stool right here because it's so tall. And then I just place my phone into the little guide. So what I'm going to do now just for the short is I'm just going to record just kind of some shots of the base of what we're looking at, and then I'll show the process and then I'll wrap it all up. So that's kind of what I'm doing right here. But I also, again, wanted to pick out some fabric. So let's take a look. Let's use our scraps because we have so many scraps to choose from, larger pieces. And here is one of our scrap bins. So I just kind of want to find some fabrics that coordinate, that are bright, Like here's some oranges. I think I would love to have some checker. Here's a little checker. I don't think it's big enough for what we're looking for. Little animal print. And I do want to use, typically I like to use flannel because the ends are already finished and you don't have to do much with them. But I think with this one, we're just going to go with cotton and then finish the edges. So I think I'm going to go with my favorite colors, kind of using this as a base. And we'll find some blacks, whites, oranges, yellows, maybe some reds, and this will be the color story that we go with. All right, so I have my letters on here. So U-N-I-T-Y. Now, I probably should have started it up a little bit further. It's gonna go all the way down the length, which is fine. And again, depending on what I wanted, I could always find a long piece. This is going to be the easiest way, is just get a really long piece and then stitch this to the inside. Or we could do separate colors. And I think I'm going to see. So let's see if we have U there. Is that big enough for the I? Nope, it is big enough for the T. We've got U in. I feel like then this is a little too busy. All right, well, I think we're gonna go with this right here. A very odd choice, but I think I love it. Now, I went ahead and used my serger just because I finally got it working to finish off the edges. That way, when they're on the inside, they're not gonna come unfrayed. But there's many ways that you can do this. You can just do like a zigzag stitch around the edge. You could use pinking shears, which pinking shears, if you don't know, they're kind of like a zigzag scissor, right? But they're specifically for preventing fabrics from fraying. But see how like the fibers here are shedding. So when you use those pinking shears, what happens is it will still shed. This is not a complete solution, but it does help prevent shedding a little bit more. So it's better than nothing. You also can just use interfacing. So you can use like a heat and bond interfacing on the back and then just press it on. That would also give it a little bit more stability. So with this, you know, we're putting cotton behind the stretch. So there might be some movement. So to add a little bit more heft and also to hide those seams, you could just, like I said, just put that interfacing on the back of those as well. Now, because these are pants, these are going to be a little bit different. If this were just one-sided, like a sweatshirt, you would be able to easily maneuver that around the machine, stitching through without a lot of, you know, pushback. So we are going to go ahead and cut these right along the seam. All right, so now you can see when I open it up, this is going to be a lot easier. And I did both legs because I am going to come back to the other side. I just wanted to try this side first. All right. Now what we need to do is put our fabrics underneath and pin them in place. So we have this piece here. We just need to decide how we're going to put it. And then I'm going to use pins. And then of course we want to make sure the fabric is facing right side up. Excellent. Right, I was forced to take a little bit of a break. Number one, I stabbed myself with a pin really bad and it wouldn't stop bleeding. But number two, the chalk that I used on the sweatpants was not color fast. I should have tested it. I know better than to use red or pink chalk on light colored fabrics and hope that it comes out. So it's not really coming out. I tried scrubbing it, but I'm just gonna embrace it. I popped it in the dryer just to dry. So we have like 15 minutes while that dries. So I just pulled them out of the dryer. They're still not quite dry, but they're dry enough. They're dry enough. But let me show you what I was talking about. Obviously the stains are on here, but see that pink is very, very noticeable. So we'll see what happens when I cut it. But here's what it looks like on the inside. So all of our nice little finished fabrics, probably press that down. Okay, so that's the inside. And now what we do, the last step, unless you're going to do a top stitch, is we're gonna come in with the scissors and cut all this fabric out. So then that fabric will show through. And y'all, so we cut this so that we could make it easier to do the leg. But now I'm thinking it might just be a skirt. We'll see what happens. All right, so I decided that I am going to do the sweatpants. I tried it on as a skirt and I didn't really like the fit of it. Also, I don't wear a lot of skirts. So we are adding, there's a C, an O, an M, and an M. And yes, I used the pink again, but at least it'll match the other side. For this one, for ease of use, I'm actually using one solid piece of fabric. So this is just gonna be solid. It's also a flannel. So it's not going to shed as much as a lot of fabric. So I'm not going to finish the edges first. I'm actually going to stitch the letters first, and then I'm going to come in after I stitch the letters and cut everything out. Then I'm going to go around with pinking shears around the edge. But this way, it's a faster way to do this because I'm not having to measure out each piece and make sure it fits. So this should go a little bit faster. Still debating how I'm going to finish it. So I think I am just going to stitch them back together. Now, because these are knit, I don't really have to finish the edges. I did cut pretty close to the seam, but in this case, I can either use my serger to just serge it all back together, or I could just stitch it back together as well. Either way will be fine. I have black thread in my serger, but I don't think that's going to bother me. So I'm just going to go ahead and clip all the way around and sew back together what I cut just from one side to the other, and then we'll put them on and we'll see how they turned out. So the Hubs is in here now helping me model these so I can give you a full shot of what they look like all put back together. This side is my favorite side. This side is okay, kind of hard to read overall, but anyway, I think they turned out pretty great. You want to say hi, B?
Nope.
So all that's left to do now is to take the footage from my phone and put it all together to make the little short for the promo for the class. And again, that's just one, one idea for that reverse applique method. There are so many other ways that you can put that to use. And I still have my sweatshirt to do, but I think we're gonna call it a day. It's 5 o'clock and I wanna get this content done. And then also I'm hungry and it's time for dinner. So if you like this type of content, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, everyone, see ya!